This video is for those of you who have been on a manifesting journey. You have tried to manifest something or someone, and you feel stuck, and you feel like no matter how many videos you watch, how many books you watch, how many affirmations you do, how many techniques you try, that you get little to no movement, and you're feeling frustrated, and you're mad, and you're tired. And you're just like, what the hell? And then you read success stories, and then you just like get excited, and you feel sad because you realize that you haven't manifested your thing yet. I want to go into this topic a little deeper today because I know that those feelings feel awful. And it feels like you're trapped and you can't get out of this loop of trying and trying and trying and not seeing results. And this video is for you, and we're going to dive deep, and I'm going to share with you something that you can do that will help you reduce this, because by this point, if you are feeling this way, if you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling like you're not getting results, you have now what the reality transurfing book calls as you have now given it excess importance, aka pedestal. The thing that you desire feels out of reach, far away, and you are now like worshiping at the footsteps of this thing, and you want it so bad, and the more time that goes by, you want it even more. This is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to share with you something that he shares within reality transurfing that is effective to move you out of this funk that you're in so that you can move it along and get what you want. So if you're new or returning, thank you. Welcome. My name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you can go to TheRoseyLife.com. You can see the different coaching options that I have. I just released 15-minute coaching sessions. So if you just have a quick question, and that's really good for that, or you just want clarification or a follow-up, whatever, I have different price points now for all of you if you're interested in doing that one-on-one, or you can join the Rosey Life course and community where I show up every week answering all the questions live. And of course, I have my new course called The One that just focuses on what imagination is and understanding it instead of it being just some mystical thing that you can't touch and grasp and comprehend. It's just meant for you to really sink your teeth into understanding imagination. Okay, so in this video, and it's so funny because I just had a session with a client, and we're touching this, we're talking about this, and I was sharing some of this with her, and I was actually letting her peek at my wise board because I just had a session with her. But anyway, so we're talking about this idea, right, that it feels frustrating, or it feels like, things aren't moving, and then, you have reactions to what you see or hear or smell, and you feel like you just can't get out of it, right? And one of the things that I love about reality transurfing is he puts a lot of emphasis on talking about excessive importance, and a lot of other coaches talk about it putting things on a pedestal. So it's the same idea, right? That something is just too important, and now it just becomes like you just have to have it. You just want it so bad, and then the more time it's been, the more you want it, or the farther away it seems. Now this thing has a lot of importance on it, is what he says in his book. And he says that when that happens, when something becomes like really important, right, now you're tipping the scales of energy. Okay, so let's say that you're here, you're balanced, you're feeling good, and everything's wonderful, and then all of a sudden you want something, okay, And wanting something is fine. You're supposed to want desires, okay? That's part of the step of manifesting, is you identifying something that you desire. So that is a necessary component, as I mentioned in another video, right? It's when you want it so much, so bad, that you think that you need it, or that it's going to complete you in some way, or that when you get it, then you're going to feel better, or you're going to be safe, or you're going to feel secure, then you're going to feel grateful, or whatever. Now you're giving this thing elevated importance, he says. So it's excess importance. So the more that you're wanting it, the more importance it gets, right? So now it's like really like traveling up here as far as energy. So to balance out the universal energy, right, that the unfortunate thing that people experience is, because it's received so much I want it, right, that the opposite appears, meaning you not having it, or something that you don't want appears. To balance out the excess importance, it not showing up or something opposite is what actually appears to balance this energy out. Okay, and so you don't want to get to that point, though, right? No one does, because you want what you want because you chose it, right? Your heart decided it wanted this, right? Your desire within you is pointing to this, and it's already within you. But when you don't allow yourself to receive it, it creates this excess importance. So I thought this is so helpful, especially if you have been like on this manifesting journey. And first of all, I want to just say something about that. I did another video about the healing journey, right? Drop that, okay? We're not on healing journeys. We're not here to go on a journey of healing unless you want to, right? But if you're on a healing journey, then you're never going to get there, because you just declared it's a journey. And how do you know you ever get there? So same thing with manifesting journey, right? It's the same thing. It's not a journey. It's like you are waking up and remembering that you are the all, you are the infinite, you are powerful, you are God, you are the I am, you are everything, you are the universal source, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I call it God, the I am. So, but anyway, that's why you're here. So it's not a journey to waking up. It's like you are already God. You are already all of it. And you're just remembering that you are. And how you wake up is when you come across this information, however everyone comes across it differently, right? But you are just like peeling off the layers. It's not a journey. It's just like you are seeing yourself more and more and more and more, right? And it comes really quickly when you stop looking for things like a journey or healing or fixing yourself or changing who you are. It comes very quickly when you let go of these stories and these beliefs that you got to do stuff to wake up, or you got to do stuff to change rewire your subconscious mind, or you got to do stuff to reprogram yourself and all of this stuff, right? And it's like, you guys at the beginning, like, I fell for all that, and I'm just like, what the hell? No. I'm like, no, I'm perfect, whole, and complete now. There's only now. So what the hell is this journey if everything's now? If I'm the all now, then what the hell journey? I'm not on no journey. I'm now. I'm the infinite now. Do you see? So, but let's get back to that excess level of importance where you just kind of keep things right out of your reach by making it so important, and it's not. So one of the things that I love that reality transurfing talks about in this is how to reduce the level of importance, right? Because if you feel like you've been manifesting and it feels out of reach, and you've been trying techniques and trying processes, and you just feel frustrated and sad and angry, it's just similar to what my last client was talking about. You can tell she was upset and angry, and that she had reacted, and that things look like they're opposite. And I'm like, first of all, I cannot tell you the amount of clients that I've had especially in the last month, who have come to me and told me that everything was great. And then now everything's a shitstorm. And my old reaction, the old version of me would have been like, oh my God, I suck as a coach, or I would take it personal, or I would feel bad that everything's falling apart for them. Like, I was like, that's an old version of me, like therapy days I'm talking, right? Now, when I see that shit's turning around and it looks like the opposite's happening, now I'm just like, oh, game on, baby. Everything's starting to shift, shuffle around, moving around just for me. Everything's unfolding. And you are the one that judges how the unfolding is happening instead of just declaring, well, this has to be part of the unfolding because I'm the only one in my reality and I get what I want. I declared my end, so this has to be the unfolding part of it. So, and it's so funny because I've had so many people telling me that their clients, that all these things are shuffling around in their life and they don't get it, and they're angry and they're upset and they're crying even. And when I finally get them to level out, and I start giggling with him, I'm like, because everything's working. You are making all of that happen. Everything's unfolding. Everything's coming to you. So, and I know that sometimes it's easier when someone on the outside is telling you that versus you trying to see it initially for yourself. Now I know when the shit's happening, I'm like, oh, that just means everything's working for me. And I just sit with my feelings and I just let them pass through, and I remember who I am. Okay, so back to the level of importance though, right? So if you're feeling these things, right, here's something that you can practice. So he says, how to reduce importance. And no, this is what I say. It's like how to reduce importance and speak to the common sense thoughts and doubts. Because I just made a short in a reel about this, about when you live in common sense, right? If that's what you rely on, your common sense. Well, it's common sense, Rose, or it's common sense that this would happen, or it's common sense that this is how people respond. It's common sense that this is how people react to this kind of situation. And there is no common sense. There is no, just drop the whole common sense thing because it does not apply to anything. It's common sense is just a bunch of beliefs that are common that people are subscribing to, or like reality surfing calls them pendulums that people just jump on, or as pendulums are just like a bandwagon. It's like a bandwagon of beliefs that a bunch of people agree on, and then that's what common sense is. So you can do that if you want to, but ask yourself, is it helping you? Is it serving you to think that way? So one of the ways that I wrote down here is how to reduce importance and speak to the common sense thoughts and doubts, right? Because these are just some of the things that you're just like probably wondering, like, how do I do that? Or does it make sense? Or those kind of things, okay? And because your heart, and he says this in Reality Transurfing, he says your heart knows what it wants. So your desire, okay? That's what I say at the beginning of my videos, is I say, right, I help, what we do on the Rosey Life is we help you free your mind from common sense and follow your heart to live a life you love. And I say that because I really want that repeated. I want people to hear it over and over again. I want that to be a reminder to follow your heart, because your heart is God, is love speaking to you what you want. And it's not going to be like nasty, mean things. It's going to be loving things that your heart is speaking, okay? So your desires, right? Your heart knows what it wants. And then what happens is you'll shut it down with common sense, trying to figure it out. Do you see? So one of the ways that you work with this is what he's saying, is that you come to terms with the possibility of defeat at the very beginning. So he's saying that you come to terms with the possibility of defeat at the beginning. So let's say you have a desire, right? And you come to terms, and this for some might sound different. It might sound like you have a plan B, okay? And a backup plan. And it's not that you want a backup plan. It's not that you want the plan B. It's not that you want to fail, right? But you come to terms with that. So if you have a really high level of importance on something, and then you say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and come to grip with the fact that there's a possibility that it won't work, that I won't get what I want. And if I don't get what I want, he says, like, go ahead and mull that over a few times. He even says, if you don't get what you want, then what will you do? Then what do you think will happen? Or what do you think will be your next action? Like, what do you think you'll do next if you don't get what you want? Do you see? It's not the end of the world if you don't get what you want. And accept that as a possibility. Because when you do that, when you have that excess importance and you allow the possibility of defeat to happen, okay, you're going to notice that doesn't feel so great when you think about defeat, right? But now this thing became less important as you were allowing yourself to think of the possibility or a plan B, okay? But he says, once you do it, meaning once you go through that little routine or that exercise of allowing yourself to think of that, that's it. You don't have to keep doing that all the time. It's a one and done, he says. You just allow yourself to do it, and you accept that possibility of defeat, of it not working, okay? And then he says, don't tear yourself up if you don't succeed the first time. He says, don't tear yourself up, because you will still succeed as long as you don't tear yourself up for not succeeding the first time. Let's say you've done this 100 times. Don't tear yourself up for doing that. You have to accept that and this is how I want to take it further from reality transurfing, right? Is accept the fact or the possibility that you don't win, that you are defeated, that you don't get what you want, right? Accept that that's a possibility. Allow yourself to see this version of you that is defeated, that has been doing this for a long time, that has tried all these different techniques or processes, and you've done coaching and you watch videos, and accept that there's a version of you that is defeated, that feels defeated, and it feels shitty, and it feels crappy, all of those things. Accept that there's a version of you like that doesn't get it, it's not clicking, blah, 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 whatever. Throw it all in there. Throw it all into that reality. Accept that there's a version of you that is on a monkey wheel or a hamster wheel, and you just feel stuck and trapped and you can't get out of it. Accept, because that is a possibility. That is a reality that truly exists, a version of you that exists, okay? Accept it. That's what he's saying. And then, but then, once you do it, you don't keep doing this. You don't beat yourself over the head with this, right? But you must accept this version of you, okay? And then, this is me, move to a reality where you identify with I am. Once you accept this version of you exists, once you accept this version of you that doesn't get what you want, once you accept it, whatever it is, okay? I say throw in the version of you that doesn't get what you want. Accept there's a version of you that is stuck in that like Groundhog Day of like just same stuff, right? Accept there is a version of you. Don't deny it. Don't resist it. Accept it. But then move to a reality where you identify with the I am. Move to the reality, move to that preferred reality that you identify with the I am, that you are the all, that you're fulfilled, that you have what you want, that you see that everything is easy, that you see that manifesting is easy, that you see that your desires are in your 3D all the time, that things flow easy. Do you see? You not only want to move realities in states for desires, for manifestations that you want, but you can also use this reality transurfing or jumping states or jumping timelines. You can use it to help you get out of this victim or feeling like nothing's working, because that's a state. You can use this to move into a timeline where you see yourself as already identified with the I am, and that things are easy and things are flowing and that you feel amazing and you feel good and you feel happy and you feel fulfilled. Do you see? You can move yourself into that timeline, but only until you accept that this version of it, of that whatever it is that you were in, also exist. Okay, so you do this for, you can do this except for that part of you that might fail, that there's that part of you, there's a reality that exists where you go to plan B, there's a reality exists where you were just stuck and you felt like nothing was working, and that you were hung up on the how long it's been. Accept these versions of you exist, and then decide, I don't want to be in those versions anymore, and move into a version. And you move within awareness, with your consciousness, right? That wherever you go, I was using this pen, my little unicorn pen, with my client, and I said, okay, I said, pretend this is a flashlight. Okay, like, you know, like in those miner, when you go in caves and they put those flashlights around their head, right? I said, pretend the tip of this is the flashlight, okay? Now, when you put this on, wherever you shine your flashlight, okay, that is awareness. Okay, it's not thoughts and feelings. It's not what you see in 3D. It's awareness. So this little tip shines, beams out a little light, a magical light, right? And it is your awareness. What are you aware of being? What state are you aware of being? It doesn't matter how long it's been. It doesn't matter what you've tried. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what's happening in front of you. It doesn't matter how many sessions you've had. It doesn't matter how many books you've read. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. What are you aware of being right now? What state do you say you're in right now? Because you can move yourself out of that state of feeling like a failure, feeling like you've screwed it up, feeling like you've lost, feeling like it's been too long. That's all a state is, you guys. You can just move out of it too, just like you can for all of your desires. Okay, so it's never too late. You're never stuck. You have infinite loopholes. You get to get out of any single corner. You're never trapped. It's never too late, because everything you desire exists right now within you, fulfilled. So you're never stuck. You are a magician, and you create loopholes to jump out of and into as many times as you want to. So you're never trapped, because we have this wonderful awareness, this power of imagination to move and transport ourselves into any reality that we want to, where everything is going our way like that. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for being here and liking the video, and thank you for subscribing to The Rosey Life. I appreciate you guys so much, and I love you guys, and I will see you soon, because you're all freaking amazing. Bye.